Good. Hello, Betsy. Nice to see you. I know we're friends, and thank you for coming to our podcast.
No.
We are in your beautiful studio, House of Happiness, big name. And so if you could introduce yourself first, and
Yes.
we'll go to our questions to your healing and music and movement.
Thank you so much, Pascal. Thanks so much, both of you. My name is Betsy Dopico. I'm from Cuba, and I have been living out of my country for already 25 years. I was living first in Mexico, and then I moved to Miami. So I have the experience of living in two countries out of my country. That's allowed me to learn more about the world, because when we live in Cuba, we don't have that vision of the world. Going through those different countries opened my eyes so much, and it changed my life forever. I started dancing and playing piano since I was 6 years old in Cuba. And it's funny because I study another things at the university, but today I am doing what was my passion, which is dancing and music in general. And how those two passions became not just my job, but also my tools to heal. Because in the journey, I found Reiki, Theta healing. I found so many other tools, so many amazing things that are already happening everywhere, but we don't know so many times. And they found me actually through dancing. I found Reiki. And when I found Reiki, I commit myself to use movement and music to help people to transform, to help people to transcend, and to get a state of mind, and not just mind, emotional and physical state of wellness. So this is me. That's why I have my studio today. It's been a long journey, and I would love to talk to you guys about this journey because it's a long journey. And I started having a studio in Mexico. Then I came to Miami, and this is my number 5 maybe location. So I have been starting again.
Yes, and thank you, Betsy. And you're such an inspiration. Coming to your classes, I know how people feel when they dance with you. And it's not just a movement, it's more what you bring, your own energy. But how did you go from Mexico to Miami and become such a success? Forgetting about the energy, what did you do? Because I know you're a single mother also, and it's not an easy journey. So can you tell us how you became a success in the 20 years? All of a sudden you are.
Yeah. Actually, when I started doing this as a job, as a career, I just lost a baby. I lost a baby, a pregnancy. I was almost 7 months of pregnancy when I lost that baby.
Sorry.
And that was...
It was your first baby?
No, it was my second. I have Pablo. My first son is Pablo. He's already 22. He's a big, amazing and handsome man because it's a young man. And, but when I lost my baby, I wasn't dancing. I stopped dancing when I left Cuba because I had to work and I had to adapt myself to the circumstance. So I stopped dancing. And when I lost my baby, I felt so lost. It's normal. It's a very hard feeling. And I got so depressed. I keep going because I had already a son and I had to move forward for him, but I was disconnected from myself. And at that point of my life, I was watching the TV one day and I found a commercial with a guy, Beto Perez. He was dancing and saying, Zumba, Zumba, Zumba. And I said, what is Zumba? And I just felt so identified with the commercial because I was always in my young age, like 15, 16. I was the typical girl that goes to the party and make everybody dancing. Like that was my personality and I love to do that. I love to see people feeling happy. It's something that comes with me. And I was always that girl. So when I saw the commercial, I felt so identified with the commercial and I say, okay, wait a minute, what is this? Let me go to internet and find out what is this. And I remember I bought the first cassettes.
That's a long time ago.
It wasn't even DVD, HD. It was the beta, the big blocks. And I bought those package of the commercials program to do at home, right? The Zumba to do at home. And I bought the package, but in the rear, it was the website. So I went to the website to look what it was, and I found that they had certification trainings. And I say, okay, I've been dancing all my life. I love to make people happy. I was doing this for free all my life. I went to every single party and I put everybody to dance. So why not to try this? And it was like a breath in my air in my face because I was so devastated. I was so sad. I was so lost. And I found something that by that moment was a hobby because I graduated from piano. I was teaching piano and I graduated from philosophy. So I was out of my passion, which is dancing. Dancing is my passion. And that was a way to come back to do something that I really love so much. And that was medicine for my soul, for my life. It gave me a purpose again, like a new, it made me dream again when I found Zumba. That's why I've been so committed with this program for 20 years already. So I went to Mexico City and I took the training. Of course, Beto saw me and he said, "Where are you from?" Because Cuban people, we dance a lot with our shoulders. You are not from Mexico. And not because Mexican doesn't dance good. It's just because we have some specific characteristic in the movement that you can recognize a Cuban person dancing. And he said, where are you from? I said, I'm from Cuba. Okay. And I started creating a relationship with the program and with the company since day one. And that gave me so much hope. And I came back home and I said, okay, I want to teach this. So I took the garage of my house and I put mirrors in my garage and I started teaching. So being an entrepreneur is something that came organically. I wasn't thinking about to create nothing. I was just thinking to teach and be happy and make people happy. But in the journey, you start learning so many things. So I started doing that in my garage with 10 friends. And I remember I had one of my neighbors, he was complaining. So I said, I had to move from my house. I had to find a commercial building. I placed my first studio officially in San Luis Potosí, Mexico, in the second floor. I remember I was so excited. I was so like, oh my God, I just remember that feeling made me feel more emotional right now. So excited right now. And I started teaching classes there. I had Zumba kids. I started teaching also for kids because Zumba also had Zumba kids. And I remember having kids that they prefer to come to Zumba kids than going to football, soccer. My parents want to kill me, especially the fathers, right? They want to kill me. Oh, my son prefer to come to Zumba Kid because something that dancing makes, it create that sensation of freedom in people. So you don't need to follow so many rules, especially Zumba, because dancing as a formal career, of course, it requires more techniques and practicing, but Zumba was just a sport. Let's have fun. Let's put our hands up, hands down, we'll shake your body. And that was amazing for them because they felt more confident. They learned to dance so many rhythms. And that was a beautiful time because when I started that place, it was very fast. Everything started happening so fast because when you connect with the universe and when you connect with your purpose and when you connect mind, soul, and physical work, actions, everything goes so fast. And you can be surprised how the universe push you forward immediately. In 3-4 months, that place was small. I need to move to a big one. I moved to a big one. And in that right moment, I moved to a big one. I combined, because I was teaching piano, I combined my piano academy until 6 p.m. So I was teaching from 3:30 to 6:30 piano, very formal. And then I changed. I have the mezzanine on the second floor, and then the big studio downstairs, and I became the Zumba instructor. In that meantime, I met Beto a couple of times, and I met the CEO of the company, Beto Perman. And I remember I was pregnant of Camila, my second daughter, because I lost the baby, but then God gave me another baby. She's Camila, my daughter, 17 years today. And I went to Mexico a couple of times, Mexico City, to meet Beto and CEO, and they proposed me to be educator in Zumba.
Can I interrupt you?
Yes.
Beto is the founder of Zumba,
Beto
right?
is the founder. Alberto Perman is the CEO of the company.
I see. Okay.
Yes. So they were trying to expand Zumba in Mexico. And I was there. I had a studio. I pushed the program a lot because I believe in the program. And they asked me to be a trainer for new instructors. So I became a trainer for new instructors with another 12 people. They did a selection in a weekend. We were more than 300 people. And at the end, we were just 12. It was so nice. And I also started a career with Zumba beside my studio. So I started combining my career as educator for Zumba with my studio as instructor and piano teacher. So
But you were already in music, so it was
it
easier transition than for some person else.
Yes, actually, it's very helpful for someone who already know how the music is structured, and you can recognize the change of music, and you can actually be like behind of what is coming into the music because you know the rhythms, you know the patterns of music, that it's a change coming. You can understand the structure of the music. It's much easier for me. And also because I was dancing since I was 5 years old, I already knew how to move on a space, how to perform my body, because I didn't know, I didn't need to add that into my body. My body already knew how to move, how to dance, how to recognize rhythms. So I just combined all. That's why I said that it was at that moment like the perfect synchronization. It was like everything came together, right? When I found that. And that's why I started growing so much in the Zumba industry. I think so.
But the thing that I would like to add to it, and maybe you can stop me, because there are dancers, musicians, and then there are teachers. And to my opinion, what you bring out of it is you are a teacher. You are supporting your students, no matter if they are already trained or not trained. And that comes from a soul. That has to come from your intention and your desire to make people grow, even if they are themselves instructors or teachers.
Thank you for reminding me. It's important to me because I separate. One thing is to use your skills as a musician. Use the skills that you already have.
Yes.
Embodied. You embodied those skills in your body already. But the purpose is not to me to shine. The purpose of being in front of a class, and that's why I love Zumba, the purpose is the people. The purpose is you. The people who are taking the class, because the purpose is to empowering others to do exercise, to move, to feel good. And that's something that for me is the most beautiful, always going to be that.
And what does it bring us? I've heard teachers saying, I love to teach and I feel fulfilled after I teach. I've heard that. Do you feel the same way after you teach a class? How do you feel? Because I know your students. I'm one of the students. So I know
love
the students.
to teach. I love teaching. Actually, for me, it's my happy hour of the day.
It's your happy hour.
Yes, for sure. I can be sick. I can be sad. I can be in any state of humanity. And when I come to my class and I go in front of the people, I think it has to be more about the empathy that we can grow inside within us, that empathy with the world, that feeling of unity with the entire universe and with everybody, understanding that we are one and we are all connected. That brings another perspective for me to be teaching, because for me, actually, I have to confess, it's my active meditation. When I am teaching and I'm connecting to the people and I'm connecting to my class, you cannot imagine how many ideas and clear projects come into my mind. Things that I had been trying to understand or bring into the reality in extra times doesn't happen that clear as when I am teaching. It's like I go to another dimension, and I know people, but I know when I am teaching, I connect to my higher self. And what came first, I cannot tell you, because I discovered the why after experiencing the facts.
Yeah.
I was teaching, and actually the way I start understanding about energy and Reiki, because I was teaching, I remember forever one student I had, she was a yoga teacher too. And she came to me and asked me, she made me the question, what do you do when you start the class? Because you are always looking up. And I said, really? I did that? It was unconscious, right? So why I'm looking up? Yes, you are always connecting with something. What do you do? What do you say when you are starting your class? And I said, I don't have idea, but I'm going to pay attention the next class. What I do, because it was very natural, I think, and I really believe that God uses as instruments and channels, and you just accept it or not, right? And I think I accepted that somehow, even when it wasn't conscious. So when the next day, when I started class, I went, okay, Betsy, do not think too much, but try to understand what you do. I started the class, and I remember the first thought came into my mind before to start the class was, I intend that every single person in my class feel the energy, feel happy, and transform any negativity that they are bringing to the class into something better and positive.
That's beautiful.
And it's hard. True. And I understood that what I was doing at the beginning of the class was setting an intention. That's what I was doing. I was setting an intention. And when you go into that stage of energy that it's the best for all, it's so powerful. So you are not anymore just a person dancing. You are part of the universe, creating energy, creating a certain emotion, a certain kind of vibration. And when you understand that, and how powerful is that, and you have that tool in your hand, you surrender to that. And then you are not teaching anymore to look good or to dance the music. You are using all the tools, music, programs, or movement, or whatever come to transform. And that's very beautiful, because it completes your life. It makes every class a blast. You know, answering how I feel.
Yes, it's true. Yeah, definitely. I've been to the classes, and I always come out super happy. I have to say, it's the truth.
And I don't say that it's hard to maintain.
But what do you do if you have, okay, I come to your classes, I'm pretty open, I love to dance. It's not easy to dance, but easy to experience those new things. But what do you tell people? Like when I ask my friend, come to Zumba, oh, I don't know how to dance. I am really bad at it. I have no rhythm. How do you make people, how do you connect them, tell them to teach them about these vibrations?
We have to talk first to the people in human language.
Okay.
Before them to try the class.
Yes.
So what I always say is the program or the class, the type of class, an instrument, right? So come to dance, come to sweat. It's easy to follow. It's effective. You can create the intensity that your body needs. You don't need to go over your own limitations or capacity. You can unlock your capacity day by day, practicing. And it's fun. It's effective. You're going to feel it in your body. You're going to feel more happy, because dancing also creates endorphins, and endorphins going to make you happy. And we go through the language that people know, right? Because it's true. Zumba, they don't even realize what they have in their hand. Because I've been trying to explain to the CEO about the energy element. of the question of the program.
Right.
And for them, it's hard to use it as a benefit, because we live in a world that not everybody believes in certain things. We have to be careful because we have to respect everybody's way of thinking, right? And I never talk about this in a class. I know that because I am who does for others. And when people come, I know they're going to feel it, and I know they're going to feel they will want to come back, right? Even when we are living in a world that now is very challenging to have a studio because of traffic, because there are so many options, because people there are to connect to social media, to connect to other things. We are so entertained that we are disconnecting from what we really need to do for ourselves. And I think it's a very challenging moment for entrepreneurs like me, keeping a studio. And we're going to talk about that, because maybe people feel that who is watching this podcast, they're going to feel exactly like me. And I will tell you things that I have been changing because we have to adapt in time. But answering your question, I do not talk about that. I mentioned the physical benefits that everybody knows. Everybody knows about music. Everybody knows about dancing. Everybody knows about endorphins. Everybody knows about losing weight or whatever
But what's
they
the
need.
difference between this and going to the gym, for example? Because it's the same kind
Well,
of
let me
benefits.
The big thing with Zumba
Dancing,
fitness in
yes.
general is because normally people who come to Zumba, they go to the gym.
I see.
But
Okay.
I also say music has its healing process too. Sometimes when you connect with the music and the movement at the same time, it's like a triple the
Benefit.
gets through you. And
The beats of the music has so much to change in people. That's why I care about the lyrics. That is something that is concerning in our days, because the lyrics have become very misogynist, commercial, and very sexual
Too.
and violent. In my case, I do care about that. I try to keep language and lyrics that are empowering people, not make people segregate or separate more.
what type of music you choose?
I
for your
use
class?
commercial music, but I pick the music that is not violent. I pick music that is happy and have good messages.
Love
Good
song.
messages and love, and I feel
Which one is your
good.
favorite?
Forever salsa gonna be my favorite rhythm, because normally salsa's lyrics are about even with sad love, but it's always it's expressing with beautiful lyrics. They don't use degraded language. And that's why for me, salsa, I love salsa, and also the rhythm of salsa make everybody feel happy. I use so many music. For example, in reggaeton, I try to use old reggaeton more than new reggaeton. I love the new artists, but it's a lot of real.
Oh, really?
If you are Spanish, you know that it's so many sexual words, and I don't really want to support that. Not necessarily I need to support that. There are people for everything.
It's one of the reasons I don't want to go to Zumba. I'm sorry.
But you have to come
I'm
to
gonna
my
cut it off,
Zumba.
but I will tell you.
You have to come to my
One of
Zumba.
the reasons, because I saw the classes of this crazy music, and for me, vision is not my type.
Yeah, it's
But
about
now I am like so curious. I want to come.
Yeah, you had to come, because something that made me open my eyes a little bit and get out of my comfort zone at the moment of teaching is that thanks to Zumba, because I started Zumba doing trainings all over the world, I could travel the world. And traveling the world allows you to understand other cultures, how they feel, how they dance, what is connection with dancing in other countries and other cultures that is not the same than Latin culture. We dance differently because we have another completely culture, right? We were born listening drums and salsa and reggaeton and all the rhythms. There are many countries, they don't even understand the lyrics because in Spanish, right? I try to simplify. I try to simplify a lot of the steps. I try to make it easy, repetitive, so people can get in touch with the step and put the intensity. Like, I do not believe so much in the choreography. Choreography is more for showing. And it's good because you can challenge people to follow some certain amount of a step in a song, but you have to be very aware of what is your people in class. It all depends what people you have in class. If the people dance very well, you can go full out. Good. Go for it. But if you have a mixed target of people in your class, you have to be careful to keep it in a level that everybody can feel comfortable. And that's the instructor job. As an instructor, you have to make everyone feel part of the class. Every single person, including a person who doesn't like to dance that much or those type of rhythms, you have to make the person fall in love with the music and the steps. Any type of job, it doesn't need to be just dancing. You make someone to feel that it's capable to do it, and you make them feel confidence at it, the person gonna love it. Because everybody is looking for that. In every single...
What amazes me in the class is that I've been taking dance lessons and they tell you, okay, raise your right arm and go 1, 2, 3. In Betsy's class, there's no talking. She just moves and people move. And it's amazing because it's part of an energy field that you move people without telling them if you need to go right, left, front, forward, right foot, left foot. And that amazes me. I don't know how you do this.
I wanted to say that sometimes for me, it depends on the teacher confidence. And you take that vibe of that person and you connect with that vibe. And then you feel your vibration within my vibration together, and then you get inspired by just how you feel. So that's why it's really important with the teacher how that person is complete, how they feel, how they're excited. And I look some classes, there's a teacher, he comes to Ironside, and he's fully in it. He's all about connecting with Sandy, and you're looking at him, he's almost like on drugs. He's so high, and I feel like that sponges the whole room.
It is important. That's actually the energetic part that some instructors around the world don't understand. Is because they are not aware. It's like what you said, we are who set the energy of the class. We are who set the intention of the class. And we create the environment that we want to create. So that's very important. And it's a big responsibility because it's on you that the person feels happy or sad or excited or frustrated. It's very important to set that. You create a wave. Imagine you come and it's the wave of the ocean. You come and you grab all the rocks, you bring it and make them feel like you are part of the wave. You are part of the wave. And then that energy is spread around the room and it's a blast for everybody. Keeping it simple is important. You said about the body language. That is something we were doing in Zumba, and then I love the process of Zumba because we started Zumba when we didn't have so many manuals and step-by-step things. But during the experience, we were creating what is today the program with Beto and all the amazing trainers that we have in the company. But the only thing I have been doing apart of that is that I really believe that what we do is not just fitness.
Can I ask also some important question that maybe we forgot to ask is, what is not everyone familiar with Zumba. What is it actually, the dance, what is it origins from, and why you picked up exactly the Zumba, because there's all different types.
Yeah, something I like that the program brought to me, because I was dancing all my life, but I was dancing to perform. It's different. When you're going to teach, there are so many programs, but what I like for Zumba is that it's inclusive. You don't need to have previous knowledge. I think things find you, and you fit with what the best instrument or tool for you to deliver your purpose in life. Zumba found me because I was looking for some tool that was easy to deliver and make it a channel of light to others, a channel of transformation to others. So it was my instrument. What happened with time that I was I become more aware of that. I learn how to manage myself, my own energy, in order to always be in a high frequency. When you are in a high frequency, negativity has to decline. I let the positive things come in front. So that's what I learned Reiki. And when I learned Reiki, I could understand how powerful is dancing. Because when we are moving our feet, we are connecting with earth. We are actually activating our roots. When we are moving our hips and our belly button, we are moving the energy of sensuality, passion, creativity, because it's connected to the sacral. And then we are moving our core. It's very common moving our core because it creates stability in your body. We are connecting with confidence, trust, self-empowering. And when we are moving our arms, we are actually spreading love and receiving love. We are creating that connection of unconditional love with ourselves and others, because it's actually a group class. And you are connecting with others.
Do you use your Reiki practice classes too?
Yes, I do.
That's very cool.
I do that.
How do you can combine the movement with Reiki?
What I do, first of all, intention is very important, because intention is energy, and it creates a physical change in your body, because molecular, like we are 90.99% of energy. And that energy moves in certain frequencies that become what we see, the material, physical world. So when we know that, and we intend, there are something that happen that it called that you create photons. The photons can affect how your cells going to respond. It's a neuroplasticity, neuroscience, many new science, many new names for that, because now the scientists are studying more about that. And there are so many new tendencies explaining that, like Joe Dispenza, so many people that are working and writing books about that. So when we are teaching the class and you set the intention, you are actually creating that energy. I also try to educate my students a little bit about that. Like I made them feel the legs, and it's happening because at the moment you are putting your attention in your legs, you are already activating your legs.
I know why Pascal is so connected. You guys have the same energetic field.
She's actually a big teacher to me, because I find teachers also on the journey. And Pascal is one of the persons that I appreciate a lot, because in that moment of discovering myself, like maybe 8-9 years ago.
How did you find her?
She came to my class.
I went to a Zumba class.
She came to my class, and
it was amazing classes. I recommend the classes to everybody.
And she started talking to me because she understood what I was doing. She got it. She said,
I know her witchcraft.
And she said, I know you are not just doing Zumba. What are you doing? I said, I put the intention, and we were talking about Reiki. We were talking about our common conversations and way to think. She encouraged me a lot to continue doing it, but also she provided me always so much information, and she shared with me books and authors and information in general to get more knowledge about it and be more embodied.
Sure of it.
Yeah.
It's
so
like
exactly
sure.
to nourish my energetic part of the class, and that's something priceless to me. That's why I love you.
But for me, it's not because I think you have it, and you have a lot of different facets to really be able to share it with the world. For me to try to give you what I know, I think it's amazing. And I watch you. I've been watching you for a few years now. I see the path, I see the difficulties, but I also see overcoming the obstacles. And so all with intention, and all with love is a big word, but like that kind of love we talk about, which is the universal love.
Yes.
So for me, you're an inspiration for that too, because I know as a woman, as a mother, as a business owner, you have to do everything yourself, but you still bring that special thing to your classes. I've taken dance lessons all my life, Zumba lessons. I've been many places in the world, and there's a difference in Betsy's way than I haven't seen in a lot of different teachers, and beautiful teachers, but a lot of Zumba teachers in the world. Once you understand that it's not about you, but about the students,
yes,
it makes a huge difference.
And that's why it comes unconsciously. It happened because it's your journey, and you surrender to the journey. And then that's what I have been doing. Even when it's hard, and I want to talk to all the moms and entrepreneurs and people who wants to pursue your dreams, because you know what is your purpose in this world. It's not easy, but any journey is easy. But when you surrender to the how appear, even when you see the darkest night, and at night you are like crying and you don't know what is going to happen next day, and you don't know how to build a
How
studio.
did you survive the COVID?
I survived the COVID teaching online.
Yeah.
COVID was a big challenge, I think, in the entire world. Actually, continue bringing challenge, because after COVID, having a physical space is not the same. Everything changed. You have to be on top of so many things that are not anymore just prepare your class and welcoming your students and do some marketing. It's being on social media 100% of the time. You have to learn how to build a website. You have to learn how to build a new POS, because people doesn't want to do 2 clicks. They just want 1 click. And it's so overwhelming after COVID. But I think it's something we have to accept as human, and as a person who wants to build a building, is to adapt to the circumstance. The world changed. It's not, even when it's very romantic to say, I miss the old one, when we write down the names on the paper and people just came because they love the class. You don't need to be on top of social media all day. And we were a smaller city, not that big city that is now, that there are so much happening everywhere and people don't know where to go. And if you are not reminding to the people, come, people forget about you, because it's the reality, because we are so busy and so disconnected. We are so entertained.
Yeah.
We just sweep and sweep. Sometimes that happens. I do the exercise to understand. I have one thing in my head. I'm gonna text Pascal, for example. I'm gonna text Pascal. But when I go to my phone, I have notifications. And then I go to the first one, which is an email. Let me see what email it is, because it sounds important. And when you go to the email, you go lost in another 20 emails.
Yes.
So you just didn't answer to Pascal. You didn't see the other notification, because in one notification you already got lost. And that's a fact. It's happening.
Can I ask, how do you combine all of this, the success, the studio, the motherhood together? And how do you, is the kids get inspired with you being so busy and moving, or it's like challenging for you to explain to them why do you need
One of the things that works for me, I believe in order and I believe in planning, because it's important to have the big picture in front of you. We need to come back to the ability of living one day at a time. I have everything. My daughter doesn't feel good today and I have to go to the school and change. We need to have very clear priorities. Priorities, you move through your day following your priorities. Always my family is my first priority. And I add something new that I learned to take care more about this year. The last year is me. I'm first. Because if you are not okay, nothing around you is going to be okay. Even when you get, and as much stress you get, how am I going to pay the bill? How am I going to do this? You less do. You get so overwhelmed, you get frost, you cannot move. And if you cannot move, anything around you move. And you can see, again, when you become aware of the energy, when you are overwhelmed, your kids are going to be overwhelmed. And everything around you is going to be like, become a chaos. So I suggest, yes, have a planning, but be present. The entire world, the entire social media thing, the entire way that the world is moving right now, you are part of the present moment. The most priceless moment that we have in life, the now. When you focus your mind, your body, your thoughts, your emotions to the now, you change everything because you get the power back to you. So I think that's something we really have to be very aware. And it takes time, and it takes uncomfortable times with yourself. And it takes so much work that we have to do every day. And when you start doing it, welcome to the journey. Every day going to increase the tension because you are becoming aware. Right now I don't see anything. If I put this, I can see all the details, right? It's uncomfortable, yes. But you start to be more happy.
How to focus?
For me, breathing is the first one. And that's something I am learning too. I move. In the morning I went out, I stretch, movement. The first thing I do in the morning, even when my phone is calling me, look at me. I keep my phone away. At least the 31st minute of my day. And I do some stretching. I practice gratitude. Because guys, there are so many millions of people that doesn't wake up in the morning every day in this world, and we are alive. That, just for that, if you analyze the moment right now, what is happening? I'm just talking in front of the camera. I have a bill to pay, yes. I have to go to my house and make the lunch, yes. But right now, I'm here, talking in front of the camera, and that's the exercise I do in the morning. Right now, I'm here, waking up, and I am alive. Oh my God, my daughter is sleeping in the room, my son is sleeping in the room, my dad is alive, my dogs are okay, everything is fine. What comes later is a construction mind. Very powerful when we do that, even when your life can go into the most chaotic time, you have the control of the moment, and that is priceless, and it's important because that's the only way you can change the chaos, or you can change the actions, or you can find the clarity to find that.
Yes, I completely agree with you, but if you have someone who is not as aware as you are, and is not a practitioner of Reiki and
just
dancing,
breathe.
Exactly.
Just
That's
breathe.
what, so that the most important then, when you don't find the moment, the present moment, you focus on your breath.
It wasn't like that before.
I know, that's why I'm asking you the question.
I wasn't like that. I'm talking now because I am experiencing, and I'm very excited to share with you, but the only way I quiet my mind was breathe. People can tell you many things. Even to meditate and repeat a mantra, at some point you are going to feel it, or an affirmation, you are thinking in 200 other things. But when you are breathing, you need to put all your attention in your air coming in, your air coming out. And then you will feel the clouds start to disappear by itself. The only way to quiet your mind is breathing. The only...
Consciously, like being conscious of your breathing.
Conscious of the breath.
Like breathing. Inhaling, exhaling.
Stay 1 minute or 5 minutes in the morning. Just focusing in your... At the first time, you are not going to think about it, but the second time, you are going to bring more attention. You can actually use your visualization. Human people are very creative, and our imagination is... So imagine the air coming in. For me, it works a lot to imagine and visualize the air coming and expanding through my lungs. When I exhale, the tension gets out of my shoulders, and I start relaxing. And it creates a calm within you that is enough to restart, so you can start the day from there. And then drink water, for example, in the morning. Create habits and routines that make you feel good. It's important to create habits that make you feel good. One is 100% breathing. Another one, for me, works, maybe for you also works, ground your feet, feel the ground, plant your feet. Imagine, visualization is amazing. You can feel like all the rocks and the minerals and whatever is under your ground is coming into your feet, and you can actually feel sensation like a feeling your legs. You can imagine bubbles, but grounded. And another one is drinking water for me. I used to do in pandemic, I did the 5 minutes in the morning. I create that, let's do the 5 minutes in the morning, and the first one was breathing, plant your feet, have a glass of water in the side of your bed and drink water in the morning, because water cleans your system and also has energy, and the crystals of that water can create like a purifying your body and your mind, also and your emotions. And another things I recommend that I do, it comes from Sujok. Sujok is a therapy that created by Professor Park. He was a Korean doctor, but he spent a lot of time in Japan, China, and also in India. Actually, Sujok grew more in India than other countries. And it said that our hands, he created a standard system, and you have your body in the palm of your hand. For example, if you look and you separate this area, you can see your lungs, your heart, your head, and your face is actually the area of the finger. This is your neck, and those are your lungs and your heart, right? So when you see that, you can put the intention and you can massage your heart. So you start the day feeling that warm hug from yourself to your, and it creates some calm. You can massage your head, your brain. You are going to start feeling it at some point when you repeat every day. You can do that as many times as you want, and then no, you can do it in both. I do this one because I use my right, it has more pressure, but you can do it both hands. And then if you see this, imagine your finger out. Here is your stomach, all the organs, the intestine, right? The reproductive system, your arms and your feet.
But is it real or it's just visualization? Is it really connected? Just
Reflexology.
like a mental?
It's a system that the Professor Park created that is actually connected to the point of your body.
Oh. It's like reflexology in your feet.
It's similar to reflexology, so you can just massage your feet, your legs, massage your arms. You can do it this way, but you have the intention that you are massaging your body, not just your hands, right?
I'm doing like this.
You can do that, whatever. And I am planning to have a first aid session with one of the teachers in Florida, because there are so many points and things you can do in case of fever, in case of heart attack.
Oh, I want to come.
There are so many tools that we can use with the Sujok therapy. The massage is normal, and another thing, tapping. It comes more from Qigong. You tap your body, you wake up your body, you attend to your body. Time to wake
But you know, I heard that there's a research that people who live with the couples, and you get all this attention from a person holding you and hugging you, and like the physical connection.
The connection, the energy, yes.
It calms you down. And
yes, it's actually very good because it's like you come to your own space.
Yeah.
You come to your energy, and it's important, something I had to learn, because when I started doing Reiki was at the end of my class, I took body pain that wasn't mine. One day I was teaching and a girl came with a very bad lower, and when finished the class, she said, "Oh my God, my pains disappeared completely."
And then you got it.
And then when I got home, I was a week
Oh my God.
with the pain in my back. But by then I didn't know. It doesn't mean you are like, it's not something bad, it's just that energy. In that moment, I didn't know how to transmute or transform. Now that I know, it's always important to keep our space safe. It's very important to have that awareness. This is my space, and when I share with other people, that's why sexuality, in my opinion, has to be very sacred, because we are exchanging so much more than just sex. We are exchanging energy, fluids, and the fluids is energy too. That's why also when we teach, when we hug, all the time we have to be very aware of what is the energy, because we have to be aware of not letting the control of your inner world, of your inner energy. We always need to be very aware of that. This is my energy, and you are not gonna change it. We can share it. We can sometimes switch, but always.
So how do you do that?
One of the things is always do habits in the morning. Set your energy since the morning, because it's important, and not just in the morning. Do it many times in a day. Go to the bathroom, breathe, tap, and scan yourself. We are so entertained that we don't scan ourselves. It's accountability. It's like a business. Your body and your life is as a business, right? If you do not see your sales every day, and you don't see how much you have to pay versus how
like
much
a bigger
you are spending,
picture, yeah.
It's like you need every day to see how many sales you have in your business, right? Mm-hmm. Or what I need to do in order to be more exposed, or in order to have more people in the class at A, because the 7 is full, but the 8 no. You need accountability. And that's the same we need about our energy and our mind and our thoughts and our emotions. We need to be very responsible and aware of that, because it's your responsibility. I love one of my Reiki teachers, she said always is responsibility. Mm-hmm. I love that. Mm-hmm. We have the responsibility, the ability to respond. Mm-hmm. And that is on you, not in others, right? So that's very important. For example, you have a discussion with someone, right? At some point, when you are aware of that, you don't get angry at the moment, and you can get into the same kind of energy that the other person is
triggering.
Exactly, triggering you and give it to you, and you can match that energy for a moment. But when you are doing every day this type of exercise to be more aware of your body and more clear about who you are and what you want to radiate, not what you want to absorb, what you want to radiate, when those things happen in your life, immediately you will have a little lighting here, like a
switch.
You are matching the energy that is not yours. Be careful. Mm. You need tools, breathing, always breathing first, because it's the only way to domesticate your ego. I said it's the first instrument to quiet your ego, and then some people massage the body, some people drink water, some people just
shower,
some people just, I don't know, there are so many ways, but the first is
Zumba.
Yes. When you dance, you become more aware of your body.
Nice.
Yeah. And also what's important to say is that it doesn't come overnight. You have to do it every day, so then when the moment happens that
you are trained for that. Yeah.
So don't despair, don't discourage, just do it every day, do what's right for you, and then the day comes.
And I think every person finds what feels right for you.
I was asking Pascal, because she's a teacher, you're a teacher. I've been a teacher sometime, a yoga instructor, and I could do only privates, because apparently I just give so much energy that I'm dead after. I'm like, I cannot move. How do you keep that energy, to like spit away?
It's curious, because at some point that happened to me. When I had to teach master classes for Zumba, I had to travel, and I have 2,000 people, or minimum 700 people.
Right.
You have to give so much in order to bring everybody at the same level of energy, right? So important drinking water, important setting in the morning the intention, and activating your own energy. And before to start the class, I always say that it's intermittent. It can be. You have to learn how to manage the intensity, levels of energy you give. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I learn in class, I deliver, and then I receive. Mm-hmm. The receiving part is important, because if you are just all the time giving, you get empty.
So how do you receive? The person dancing, what do you do?
Go
hug it?
Nourish yourself from the smiles of the people, from the capacity of the person mastering a step.
Nice.
You have to start receiving, not the instant gratification, because it's not gratification, it's more about reactions. The reaction from the people that are telling you that they are feeling good. So you are allowing yourself to receive, not just give. Keeping that abundance in the class is healthy for you as a teacher, because if not, you are all the time giving. Comes with a bad mood that day, it's going to suck
How
all
do you
your
protect?
energy.
You shut it down, or just don't let it interrupt your space?
I think the only way to protect yourself is bringing yourself to a higher sea of energy. And that is connecting with love, that is connecting with trust, that is connecting with whatever is your God, or whatever is your inspiration, supernatural inspiration.
So someone pisses you off in this like attitude in your class, in your studio. How do you do that?
I have clear my purpose. I always say, okay, I love these people and I love what I do. That is a fact.
Yeah.
I love the people, I love what I do. I breathe, because breathing immediately brings your energy up.
Oh, wow.
And
so it's like a bullet from
It's bulletproofing, and also
Bubble.
if you can visualize yourself in a bubble of golden light.
Wow.
You just intend to be secure.
That's so cool.
But it comes with training. It doesn't come overnight. So the more if you're a teacher, the more you practice your teaching, eventually you'll find that thing that she's talking. Betsy talks about the high frequencies. So the high frequencies cannot go so much down to the frequency. Not only for me as a yoga teacher, it's a different thing, but if you see videos of Betsy, you have like 2,000 dancers and her moving her body the most of all 1,000 people. It's not just energetically challenging, it's physically also very challenging, because you have to keep up the energy, you have to keep up the dancing,
scanning
the room, the vibrations of the room, and making sure that people don't get injured so much. And there's a lot in that, to me, that I don't know, maybe that I feel that would be very challenging.
Now everything is already like, as I say, it's
experience.
Because experience, the practice in years to years. The first one, always I recommend. First, you have to be sure about the class you are teaching. Be always very well prepared. Now at this point of my life, I can teach a class without knowing the music, and I would teach this because I know how to.
Or maybe without the music.
Actually,
everything came out.
I was in a Zumba cruise, and I was the first class in a cruise line. In a Sunday night, it says 6 p.m. in the big court outside. It was the first experience everybody will have in the cruise, and we didn't have power. I went to the class, and the guy said, "Give me 10 minutes. Entertain people for 10 minutes." I started talking, taking pictures, asking people. Then another 10 minutes, and I was like, "Okay, people is starting to be anxious," and I came down and said, "Hey, tell me," and interview. And at some point, I said, "I don't have any more resources to keep these people entertained, and what I have to do." "No, we don't have power. Do you want to cancel the class?" And I went to the station and said, "Okay, guys, this is what is happening. We don't have power. But do you want to dance?" "Yes." "Let's dance." "Who said that we need music to dance? We can sing." "Yes or no?" "Yes." And I say, I always go to salsa because it's my powerful, right? So my powerful skill, and I went down and split the room, and I started saying, "Okay, step number 1, and step number 2, now 1 plus 2, now 3, 1 plus 3. And people were so focused in the step.
Wow.
So I brought myself to the present. This is what you have. You don't have this. You have this. What do you do with this, right?
Yeah.
And at that moment, we kept the class the entire hour. The music.
And everybody was in sync with this.
It was, everybody remember, and I made people sing Havana, Unana, because that is easy to sing.
Yeah.
Havana, Unana, everybody, Havana, Unana. It was so fun. Woo! If people were singing. That was so much fun. The people had as a highlight that class. That could be the worst moment of my life, but I decided to make it a good moment for everyone and for me. Because I say, the worst that can happen is that I mess up. It's okay, I can mess up. I don't have another option. So when I mean like the bringing the energy up, it also comes with your intention. At that moment, my intention truly was to make those people have the best first class.
Yeah.
Because they're supposed to have the best first memory of the cruise at that class. And I say, they're going to remember, oh, my first class was canceled.
Yeah.
And now my first class, well, without music, but we had so much fun. It's everything about that training. It's a training. Yeah. It doesn't happen night to day. It's a training, and it's something, when we are instructor, we have a big responsibility. It's not the same to be the student than being the instructor. We have to separate those things. And that philosophy applies for the business, that philosophy applies for your family, because in your house, for example, my daughter and I, we have periods, right? And our cycles can be different times. And when I am sensitive, she's okay, but when I am okay, she's sensitive. Sometimes we are both sensitive and we want to kill each other, right? So it happens all the time, everywhere, with your partner, with your friend, with the person in the street, with the traffic. It's a training that we need to start doing. What is the energy I want to radiate? When we focus our attention on what is the energy I want to radiate, the how would come to you.
So it's constant choice.
It's choices. I think it is a choice. It's a choice, and it comes when you surrender to your essence. We all have that. It's not that I am special. It's not that anyone is special. It's that we all that has.
We all can.
Everybody has that ability. Everybody is important. Everybody is special. Everybody has love. Everybody has the capacity of breathing. Everybody has the capacity of reading the room. Everybody. It's just a training.
Yeah.
It's just a training.
So thank you so much for saying that we all need just to start elevating our life with the music, with the dance, coming to your classes, breathing, drinking, and I want to know the tea secret.
Oh, the tea secret. Yes, I'm so happy I found this. Coming back to that, at the moment you want to change. For example, I was very overwhelmed 2 weeks ago because it's part of the cycle of life. I was very overwhelmed, trying to figure out how I'm going to change my business to make it adapted more to the new circumstance. The old format is not working anymore. We need to readapt the format of the business in order to continue growing quick. This is not always we're going to have a point that we can cross. And at that point, I was very overwhelmed. A student came and said, hey, try it. I know you are very organic, because I really believe in plants. I really believe in the most organic and natural ways of healing, okay? Mm-hmm. I apply every day in my days in my family. And since that moment, I started doing more natural and organic remedies. I have better health, even in my family too. She gave me the tea, and I said, what is this? Okay, another tea, typical. When we are living in a very skeptical mode in our days, because there are so many products, and I didn't pay attention to the tea, and she texted me, hey, did you try the tea? And I felt so embarrassed, and I said, oh my God, let me read what has tea. And when I started reading the many benefits, and it has malvavisco, chamomile, ginger, it's a herbal tea, has 12 herbs. 12. And Cardo Santo, so many others that are actually good to kill cancer cells in our body. There are so many benefits from the plants that are the herbs that are planted in the tea. And they also have two adaptogens. They have Ganoderma, Reishi, and Chaga. So it's amazing. And that's why I understand now why I got so third day of doing it. Because Chaga, Ganoderma, and when you detox your body, you clean, release the inflammation that we have in our frontal lobe, which is in charge of our behavior and also our capacity of understanding things. It's chemical, right? It's not something.
So where do you buy the herbs?
The name is Teddy Vina. It's a company that I also like because he grew up in America. He has so many other companies, but he created this one with a Spanish name. It's a Vida Divina, Divine Life. And the tea, and you can see how everyone feels immediately better. And I said, okay, it has to be one of my tools. And now I'm using the tea. Actually, I'm opening a mini bar in my studio because they also have.
So you're gonna have tea ceremonies?
Juices like a green juice, red fruits, arándanos. red juice, and they have a cafe with another coffee, which doesn't have sugar added, it doesn't have any lactose added, it's everything coming from plants. And I really like the concept, so I said, okay, let's do it. And the tea actually gave me a break with my foggy vision.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, at the third day I start feeling it. It's not that if you stop, maybe all the swallow come back and the inflammation come back, because it's happened every day. Everything we eat most of the time has pesticides or has something, because unfortunately the big companies doesn't care about that. And I don't supposed to say that, don't copy. But it is true. So the tea is a complement to keep my vibration high.
That's good.
Because when you detox your body, your vibration is also elevated. What you eat, what you put into your body also has a vibration.
So we're coming to you to drink your tea, we're gonna dance.